Hello everyone and welcome back to another Docs Debriefs, these episodes where I look through a recent session, seeing what I did well, what I could improve on. This time I'm back on Enigma's Cold War, and this time I'm in the Farmer. It's been a while since I've flown the Mig-19 Farmer, but I wanted to give it another go, see how it's doing, see how I deal with it, since there's been some flight model changes with it, and lots of other background tweaks. Ended up having a real blast here. Initially I was just flying off on my own, however I was later joined by Judas 1-1, who was an excellent wingman. So anyway, let's dive into the first engagement. So here I am getting call out for an A4 that is within 10 kilometers. It had been under the radar, but of course when you get within 10 kilometers now, the EWR always shows it. See it here right off my nose, and he really doesn't seem to be aware of me. Don't know if he has his EWR turned off or if he just doesn't spot me there, but nicely turns away from me, gives me a perfect shot. So even with the not great missiles, I still get a hit. I honestly am surprised that the missiles managed to hit there with the amount of flares he was pumping out. I think he just got a bit unlucky there. The missiles on the Farmer tend not to really be that great, but this time they definitely worked out, so nice good start to the Sortie. So there's a short while later I've got another call out, this time for a Viggen. This one's at 20 kilometers, but nice thing about Viggens is they are nice and big. You can spot them from a fair distance away. So here I'm trying just to do a little bit of lag pursuit, alternating between lag and pure pursuit, really to try and end up on this guy's tail. Problem is here he starts turning into me, and so here we're approaching. We both turn in. I fire guns at him, but I don't get anything good. I don't have this plane particularly well trimmed out at this point. I did pick up speed and that threw the trim off, and so it is waving about a bit much, as you can see. That's okay. I then decide to go slightly high in my turn just to conserve some of my energy. He is staying low at this point. Do briefly lose track of him, but when I zoom in I can just pick him out there. And he seems to briefly lose track of me because he doesn't keep up his turn. He starts to straighten out. And that lets me just drop in on his 6 here. Now I don't know if he sees me or if he's just going evasive here, but he does go for a climb. It's fair enough, the Viggen does have a lot of thrust, but the Mig-19 has a lot of thrust to weight, so can keep up quite well. I give a little burst here and get a decent hit in. Nothing spectacular. On the replay here, I get white streaks that weren't in the original. That's just an artifact of track files being weird. Now I don't know what he does here, but he really pulls a lot of AOA and basically comes to a standstill, which is good and bad for him. It does mean he instantly reverses me here, but the problem is the Viggen does not like it when you pull that much AOA. Now I don't know if it was my guns or that pull, but I think at this point he's stalled out his engine. He does fire a missile, but it was a really hopeful missile, and at that point he goes in. So yeah, I'm not sure if my guns did damage to his engine or just that snap turn that he did stalled them out, but the Viggen is very susceptible to those kind of stalls. Now this is just a couple minutes later. I get a call out. I don't pay enough attention. I think I'm going in for a Viggen. Turns out I'm going in for a 4-ship here. 2 Viggens, 2 F5s are all heading towards me, which is not ideal. I'm trying to get sight of the Viggen here. I don't actually see him whiz past there. That is him trying to get guns on me. I just get the call out that he is very close, so I start trying to look around for him. Completely lose sight of my original target there. There I am just downright lucky not to be shot down. I am not great at spotting against the ground, especially in the Mig-19. Here I come round to find an F5, and this is my first sign that I'm in a lot more trouble than I thought I was. Do get a decent hit on him there. It's not enough to take him out, but I think that does make him disengage. I don't really see that particular F5 after this fight. So, did something, but he does make it back. That's not a kill. He does survive that. As I'm trying to pull around on him, this unlucky Viggen here just happens to fall right in front of me and just line me up for the perfect shot there. I'm pretty sure he just didn't see me and had just really messed up there, so that one was very lucky on my part, very unlucky on his part. Now, this is where I do something that's very strange for me. I actually do something a bit sensible for once. At this point I realise I am heavily outnumbered. I still have one Fox 2, but there are a lot of them all going for me. And so here, as I'm approaching, I refuse the head-on. And then because the Viggen is now pointed directly away from me, I realise I've got a little bit of space, and so decide to extend. Initially I'm hoping just to give myself enough distance that I can engage the Viggen one-on-one, but it turns out at full burner I actually start to pull away from the Viggen, and so I RTB, make it back to base, and survive that, which is quite surprising. Normally I commit to fights a little too much, but do seem to be learning my lesson. Now, here I'm joined by Judas 1-1. But for now I'm currently on my own. I'm on my way to meet up with him, and suddenly I see this Viggen just flying really slow, very close off my nose, so I decide, right, gonna engage him. First I can't quite make out the aspect whether he's flying towards me or away from me, then realise he is cold to me. So everything seems to be in my favour. Another plane comes in, gets a couple of bullets off but doesn't seem to do anything. So I decide to push on here, I get tone, and fire off a missile. He is incredibly slow here, the other plane's coming back in, but my missile's already on the way, there's not much I can do. And there we go, get the splash. I think he might have also stalled out his engine by how slow he was going there. So, again, quite lucky, but another one to the list. Now this is a fair while later. I'm joined up with Judas, who's in a Mig-21, and we're heading towards this A-10 call-out. Can see the A-10 hitting ground targets there, so we know where he is. I do get tally on him, refuse the head-on because I know how dangerous an A-10 can be in the head-on. Instead I go up, I've got more thruster weight than him. He seems more worried about the ground targets than us, which does give me an opportunity to roll in behind him here. The aspect is really bad for a missile, but it's good enough to have a snapshot with my guns here. And I do get a hit and an engine fire there. So here's just the third person view, and you can see that nice hit on the right hand engine. But this being an A-10, one hit is not enough to put him out straight out. So I climb up here. I end up in a pretty good position still, so recommit. Judas lost eyes on him, so is currently going high to disengage, to come back in. Here I'm lining up for another snapshot. Unfortunately, I think I've flipped my weapon selector onto the wrong setting and no guns fire. That was just pilot error on my part. So I call in to Judas, tell him to go in and finish the job. But as he goes in, he realises the A-10's in a really, really bad state, losing altitude, and there he goes, just crashes. So there we go, that was 5 kills, and so really happy with that. It's been a while since I've played the Mig-19 properly, and been a while since I've got an ace in general, so I was very, very happy with that. Was a lot of luck involved, quite a few planes just popping up in front of me at the perfect aspect, but all the same, had a lot of fun doing all of that. And I do make it back to base and land. We do continue for a bit. Judas gets a load of kills on the next sortie, but I don't get anything, but I do then land that one, so quite happy all in all. Really good flyout, 5 kills for not dying. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that. Do let me know what you thought of those little third-person view clips there, just playing around with different formats for these since the track file did work out well. And we'll be doing more videos of the Farmer soon, because I really do enjoy this plane. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a like and or subscribe. And otherwise, I hope to catch you in the next one. Until then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.